So, hi, I'm Lily, and you're watching Lily TV, the straight talking show with the world's most fascinating people, where you can get the tools to build a great business. And tonight on the show, you'll get a chance to meet Armand, who sold 200 million online, and he will share with you some incredible techniques to create residual income streams and to automate your marketing so you can get more clients and more sales and attract more business to you. Through online marketing strategies such as Facebook and Google. Now, this is for you if you already have a business or you have absolutely nothing, whether it's no business, no product, or no credibility, or even you're maybe in a corporate job. So let's see if Armand is able to join now. Okay, perfect. Now, this is for you if you have a business or if you don't have a business, doesn't matter. And this is for you especially if you are stressed and overwhelmed, if you lack clients, if you lack a clear strategy, or you simply don't know how to grow sales. Hello, Armand, and thank you so much for agreeing to take the time to come on Lily TV.
Hey, Lily, how are you?
Yes, I'm very well. I'm sorry, we struggled a little bit with some technical issues. This is actually my very first time inviting other people to speak on Lily TV. I have been on other people's shows, but this is my first time doing, interviewing other people. So you are, officially officiating the Lily TV show. So
awesome. Well, we'll figure it out as we go along, but no problem. We got everything set up. And, we'll figure it out. In fact, maybe what we'll do is we'll tell everyone how to go live on Facebook. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds very exciting. So now, before you start, I just want to say how much I appreciate your time and how much I appreciate you for for helping speakers and leaders grow. Literally, like last year in July. Yeah. We were standing in front of 3 people. Literally, that's how good our marketing was, 3 people.
Right.
And today, I am very proud to say that because of you, we have a lot more than 3 people. In fact, most of our events have up to 100 people. And also, we're due to speak with you in Singapore in front of 300 people. Sure. And this would never have been possible without your help. And that's why I want to say a huge, huge thank you. And I know that you've helped hundreds and hundreds of people to achieve the same thing. So today I would like to get a bit of your insights about how you're able to do this. And basically, I want people to discover what it means actually to have the right strategy, sure, the right mindset, and the right the right coach. So basically, what I want to ask you first is how have you managed to build this amazing business?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I don't think anyone's actually ever asked me that exact question before. So let's just kind of start this way. The way, I wouldn't say that anything I'd done was on purpose, and it was done it was done because I had to. And I think many people watching this right now probably understand this, is that you're in a situation and you need to do something in order to progress and move forward. So what I had just sold a company many moons ago, and I was left there and I needed to actually do something, and the internet was an option that I thought that was actually working out, supposed to be pretty good. And it turned out pretty good because Bill Gates at that time said that the internet, your business was either going to be on the internet or your business was going to be out of business. So what I decided to do was actually go ahead and actually do something on the internet. And through that, I managed to really start figuring out how to create my own products, my own services. Ultimately, in the beginning, it was actually just my products. It was finding something that people wanted and then putting that product in front of them and actually selling them that product. And then eventually, what happened was people start asking me, well, how do you market those products? And then I started sharing with people exactly the strategies and the tactics that I was utilizing to market those products. And honestly, that's a never-ending story, because what happens is, even to this very day, I mean, literally before we jumped on here today, I was actually testing and trying different strategies on Facebook, actually, believe it or not, on how to advertise my new webinar that I have up on Facebook, and trying to get more people to view that and more people to opt in, to more people to register. But really, here's the simplicity, and let's just kind of go backwards a little bit. For everyone watching, I mean, the internet is nothing more than two things, really, two things. And that is, number one, math, and number two, psychology. And those are the only two things that you really need to know. If you knew a little bit about math, meaning some basic math, how to multiply, how to divide, how to add, and how to subtract. If you just know those things, because that's the only things that I know. I can do a little bit of the other stuff, but not very good. But if you can just do those basic things, then you can really do anything that you need to on the internet, but it's all about the numbers itself. If you understand the actual numbers, then everything else actually kind of works out. Does that make sense?
Yes. And what I want to ask you is that because you've agreed to speak at this amazing event on the 6th of October called Internet Marketing Intensive, it's a full day with yourself training. And I mean, I can tell you that last year, I think, yeah, about last year, I remember when Harry and I got accepted into your program, we celebrated. I don't know if you remember that, but we celebrated because we were like, oh my God, he's going to give us his email. I bet you regret that. I bet you regret that now.
It's funny.
But the really cool thing.
On the 6th of October, here's what's happening for everyone watching this right now. I'm going to be spending a whole day in the UK, and I'm going to be teaching all day long from the morning and into the evening. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be teaching you guys the latest strategies that I have. And we're going to talk about a variety of different topics. And the reason why I want to do this way is because in this room, there's going to be a lot of different people doing a lot of different things. There's going to be some people focused on property. Some people are going to be focused on maybe network marketing. Some people are going to be focused on maybe just trying to start something on the internet. So what I decided to do is we're going to kind of divide the day up into the basics and then getting a little bit more advanced along the way. But more importantly, it's showing you the things that I'm doing right now. And honestly, the things that I'm doing right now are not any different than the things I was doing many, many years ago. And the reason why I say that is because it's still the same thing. It's like I said, it's about math, it's psychology. It's just understanding the different tactics and strategies. So for example, many of you guys are watching Facebook right now. I mean, we're doing this live. We've got Bradley watching. We got Melissa watching, who's up in New York, I believe. At least last time I saw her, she was in New York. And then we even have a cousin of mine's actually watching. The reason I know is because the last name was Hipanao, so I know they're Filipino. So, but we got a bunch of people watching this right now. So again, if you guys are watching, again, thank you very much for watching. But Facebook Live is actually one of those things that that anyone can actually do. I mean, let's put it this way. I'm just having a conversation. I'm in the US right now. I'm in North Carolina, and Lily is sitting in London over there, and we got Bradley watching. And, you know, here's the thing. Doing something as simple as this right here, right now, is simple, right? You can actually have a conversation with people. And if you have something to share, because everyone inside of them has a message that they want to share with someone, maybe has a strategy that they want to share, or maybe they have a story. Cheris is actually here. He's in Trinidad. Cheris is in Trinidad right now. So, so we got people all over the world watching this, and it's really kind of crazy. But here's the thing. Is that inside of you, if you have a story, you have a message, a strategy, something you want to share with the world, you can literally just jump on Facebook just like this, have a conversation with a friend all around the world. Again, Lily's in London, I'm in the US. And by simply talking back and forth and having this conversation, you can start to build a following on Facebook. But the thing that you need to do is you need to start being consistent about it, meaning that you don't want to just do it once and just never do it again. What you want to do is you want to keep on doing this again every single day as much as you possibly can. In fact, I have the strategy that my wife's trying to talk me out of, and Lily, you're going to think this is funny, because what the strategy is that I want to, you know, raise awareness for some of the things that we're doing. So I'm thinking about doing a 24-hour live stream. My wife says, how can you possibly go 24 hours? I said, I have no problem going 24 hours in a row on a live stream. It's the easy part. The hard part's going to be having to go to the bathroom. That's going to be the hard part. But something like this, Lily, is just one of those things that anyone can do. You can do, I can do, obviously. That's simple enough. And we're not even using high-end technology. We're using our phones, right now. So again, I'm on my phone. I have my phone on a little tripod right here, and Lily has her phone, looks like a set up against something maybe, and just kind of holding it up there. Or maybe Harry's holding her phone up for it just like this or something. But but either way, she has the phone right there. And again, by having a little tripod, you can sit here, and this is all you really need in order to actually start building a following and utilizing something as simple as Facebook. Now, just imagine, I mean, those of you that are watching this right now, I mean, just type in what you guys do. I mean, down below, type in what you do. If you're a marketer, if you're a speaker, a motivational speaker, if you're a real estate person, I know Charis does real estate, whatever you do, just kind of type it in the comments and just send it through. I want to give you guys some examples of what we could possibly do. So if you're watching this right now, go ahead and just type in a comment like, what do you do? What do you do for work? I mean, or what is your business? Let's put it that way. So just type that in and then go for, I know everyone's like scared. I don't know if I want to put it in. He's going to make an example out of it. But again, if you have that, again, we'll wait for someone to come on. If they don't, we'll make up something. So as Armand, you have sold over 200 million online. I want to learn how to do it. Well, if you want to learn how to do it, Harry, then what you need to do is you need to be in London on October 6th, because I am coming to London in a big, big, big different way. Bradley says, I'm an independent insurance agent and a real estate investor. Now, I mean, think about this, right? Rob says he's an artist. I mean, that's awesome. Right. So now imagine this. Let's take Rob for a second here. So Rob's an artist, right? He's an artist, and he has, I don't know what kind of artist, so I don't really know. He could be a musician. He could be an actual artist, drawing, painting, something like that. But let's say he was a painter of some sort. So let's just say that he was a painter. He could actually have a virtual showing of his art online on Facebook, and he could do this once, twice, 3 times a week. I mean, how simple would that be? Martha says she does leadership coaching. You know, the best way to sell anything to anybody, Martha, is to actually demonstrate what you know. So by going onto Facebook, something like this, you can demonstrate how good you are at what you do and give people a sample of as far as what you are and who you are, because people want to know who you are. And they want to understand the personality behind the individual. And if they understand and they like the personality behind the individual, guess what? They're going to want to do business with you. Gaia says she's a life coach, motivational speaker. Now, Bradley Chapman, help, I'm becoming a broadcaster as well, too. Again, life coach, motivational speaker. Again, how do people, if you want to be a speaker, the best way that you know how you become a speaker? You speak. And what you do is you jump on a platform like this and you share people your stories. You know, a guy told me one time, and I tell the story all the time, and that is never tell a story without a point, never give a point without a story. And that's the whole thing, is that whenever you're talking out there, what you want to do is you want to share people your stories. I tell people the craziest stories of the craziest things that have happened to me throughout my whole life, from being a kid to selling vacuum cleaners to getting rejected to all these different things. But it's about the story about it. It gets people a chance to actually understand who I am. Does that make sense to everyone? Martha says she does relaxation podcasts. Well, you don't want to put your audience to sleep, but but at the same time, you know, you can give them an idea, though. Just don't put them to sleep. We don't want that to happen. Catering supervisor at a university in Warwick and property investor. Okay, with my son, perfect. So again, if Tina's a property investor, then what she might want to do is, you know, talk to people about investing in property, and then become an expert in that area and let people know what that person is. Alan says internet leads and joint ventures. Millions of leads coming in per month. That's awesome. Well, you know, Alan, as an example, I mean, one of the things that you want to do is you want to let people know who you are, that you do this. And on joint ventures, I mean, the more people that know you, here's the key with doing joint ventures. It's not who you know. That doesn't matter at all. It's who knows you. That's what matters. So the bigger following that you get, the more joint ventures that you can do. I get hit with probably, I'm just going to say an estimate, 10, 12, maybe 15 joint ventures every single week. I say no to the vast majority of them, but every once in a while there's something that comes along that I say yes to, and then we go on to make millions of dollars together, and that works out pretty good. It says, Armand, do you ever speak about making your music? I do sometimes. Every once in a while, I actually do speak about that. And the reason why is because it's a great part of my life. It's a great part of my story. Some of you know this and some of you don't, is that I actually had an album a few years back. And that album we took to the #7 best-selling CD in the world. And then what we did is we took that knowledge, though, and I went back to Nashville. This is the part of the story I don't tell. After we hit #1 on Amazon, we held it for 4 days, broke every record that Amazon had. We were the 7th best-selling CD in the world, beating out people like Shakira and many other people. And then what happened is I went back to Nashville, and I spent a week, and I talked to every music a recording studio that there was in Nashville, and they all wanted to know the one thing, and that is, how did we do it? And some of those people still contact us to this very day whenever they release a new album, wanting us to help them market their album, and it's really kind of cool. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do all these different things. But Lily, again, we're having this event on October 6th, right? So again, I think the website is Internet Marketing Intensive, right? internetmarketingintensive.com. So if you guys are watching this now, whether you're watching it live during the actual recording, or you're watching the recording a little bit later on, then what you want to do is go to internetmarketingintensive.com and then go ahead, register your seat there. Again, I'm going to be there all day. We're going to be talking about a lot of different subjects, like some of the things like the fastest way to make the most amount of money. Right? That's what everyone wants to really know, right? Is how to make the most amount of money in the shortest period of time. And so we're going to tell you that. And I'll tell you right now what that is. It's about doing webinars. It's understanding the math and the psychology of doing a webinar. And also it brings in something that everyone wants to be, and that is a speaker. Meaning that a webinar is not just a webinar. A webinar is actually being able to speak and to get your point across to other people and feeling comfortable, whether it be in front of a camera or just behind a PowerPoint. There's what to say, and there's also how to say it. That makes you feel comfortable, that makes you feel good, but also gets your message across. Because when an audience is watching you, just like me and Lily right now, people are watching this. We got people watching us from all over the world. Many people get really, really nervous at this particular type of interaction, and they don't know what to happen. I mean, we got people, think about this. Think about all the different things that are going on. We got Lily on the other side over there, right? You got me on this side over here. We've got technology that could go wrong at any moment in time, right? We've got people typing in comments. So we're reading kind of comments back and forth and seeing what people are saying. So there's a lot of things happening here, and you have to somehow maintain a cool, calm composure throughout this whole thing and not look like you're angry or confused or anything like that, and keep smiling at the same time. So there's a lot of different things happening, but when you're doing a webinar, all of these determine whether a person's going to buy from you or not. Does that make sense? Yes? So the more people that you can convey your message to, the better your message is. I mean, Lily, I mean, you guys speak now, you've done events in all over the UK. You've done events you've spoken at events in Peru now, is that right?
Yes, and Singapore.
And you just did Singapore. You just did an event in Singapore. But I'm just going to ask you this question. I mean, each time you speak, don't you get a little bit better at it? Yes?
Yes, every single time I get a little bit better, and I can credit most of that to you because, you know, we've gone to your house, and, you know, we've been haunting you every single, you know, time that there is an opportunity to spend any sort of minute or 15 minutes or any sort of time length that it's possible to spend time with you. We always kind of tend to, you know, stick to you like super glue. And I can tell you, to those of you that are watching, that you are crazy if you don't come. I'm just going to tell you right now. If you know, you could. I can tell you this: that if you're in Tanzania, you have to fly here. I don't care where you are right now. If you're in the U.S., if you're in France, I don't care where you are. You have to be here on the 6th of October in London, in the Crown Plaza Hotel, from 9 o'clock in the morning until I think it's like 9 p.m. that the conference finishes. But the key thing is that you're going to get critical techniques that you can use to build your business. And Armand is going to show you everything. And I can tell you, I am blessed. I feel blessed to spend any single minute with Armand, because even in a minute, he can tell you something that can dramatically change your business. And I just want to share some of the results that your students have had. So I personally know a student that has gone from zero to $65,000 per month using, your coaching. And you're
Sure.
also the advisor of many multi-million and even billion-dollar businesses.
Sure.
And I personally got to meet even an old lady that's like maybe around 80, and she has a really incredible business. And
Yeah.
the most incredible thing is that you get to hang out with these kind of people in his kind of multi-million pound circle. He never really, I mean, I think that Armand never really advertises that. It's like a
Not really
million,
so much, but
multi-million pound kind of circle. But the really cool thing is that you get to hang out with these people, and they're very down to earth, they're very nice. And it's always good to be in a room where everyone else is doing better than you, because there's something you can learn, there's some technique that you can apply that a lot of people have learned from you. And then it's really good idea to kind of network. And you also do a lot of fun activities as well, which I think is cool. And even I personally know a student of yours that has gone from 400,000 roughly a year to now making 3.7 million. And also, I want to ask you this.
yeah.
You're running you've a multi-million pound business. You've made over 200 million of dollars online.
Sure.
And you only have 5 employees, am I right?
Yeah, 5.
5 permanent employees?
Technically, let me see, less. I can name them all, right? It's very easy, right? So we have Chris that works with me, we have Frank, we have George, and then there's Mariana, there's me, and then technically there's Bill, which he just kind of works with us when we're doing seminars, and that's about it. But yeah, we only have a few people that work for us, but they all work from home. They all work from home, which is actually kind of cool. But also, in my house, right, I'm in front of, I'm in my office right now. Right. So I'm going to do something I don't really do because my office is a mess right now, but I'm just going to show you guys something. Right. So this is like a wall in back of me. Right. So this is a wall in back of me, in back of here. And I'm just going to kind of flip this around. This is like my lighting setup that we have. You can see like all the lighting setup. Actually on this wall over here, you can kind of see it right there. I actually have a big video screen wall over there. But the point that I'm trying to make is that everything that I do, everything that we're doing right now, it's all, it's basically, I work from home, right? Because I work from home, I can do basically anything I want to, and it makes it just very, very easy for us. But it's also more comfortable. I mean, think about this. If you guys didn't have to leave home, I mean, would you? No. Why would you? So it's just kind of cool that we can do this. Working from home and achieve the results that we have, but it's also knowing the strategies. You see, the difference is you guys, when you first get started, you have like so many strategies. I have only 1 or 2 or 3 that I actually need to know. And what we're going to do on October 6th is very simple. On October 6th, what we're going to do is we're going to spend all day. So again, if you guys are in London, or even if you're not in London, fly in. Because we're going to spend all day. I'm going to be going over all these different strategies from webinars. That'll be one thing. We'll talk about Facebook, doing some of the latest things on Facebook. So for example, let me give you guys an example, right? So this is the first time that me and Lily are doing a live stream. Okay. So now you notice that the screen is actually vertical, right? Now, once we have the screen vertical, you can't change it. So what happens is, well, one of the things that you want to do is, let's say you're doing a Facebook Live, and I'm just going to show you guys this for a second. First of all, number 1, you have to be on, and you go on your phone. If you're going to do an interview just like me and Lily are doing right now, be on your phone. That's going to be the one thing, because you actually can't do this on your computer right now. This is the strangest thing. I don't know why they don't allow you to do this, but you can't. You can only do it from your phone, and you can invite someone that's on to actually talk with you, right? Oddly enough, Raymond Aaron is actually messaging me at the same time. He's actually saying, he's talking about Singapore and something about Slovenia. So it's kind of funny, just kind of getting that message while I'm talking to you guys. But here's the thing, is that, so what you do is you turn your phone sideways, and when we start the conversation with your phone horizontally, and what that'll do is that will display your video in a 16:9 format rather than a vertical format. Does that make sense to everyone? So it's just the small details, but you know what? The more you do something, the more details that you get into it, by understanding what the process is, and by understanding the little tricks. Because let me give you an example. So last week, I was actually speaking at an event. I spoke for Lily and Harry at their event, and I was in London, and I spent 90 minutes with them. But the next day I went over to another event, and I spoke over that other event as well too. So I'm speaking at the front of this event, and this event probably had about 175, 180 people maybe at the time that I spoke. It was on a Sunday, and everyone was kind of tired and everything else. So I did this presentation. I had this new idea that I was going to do something different, and I messed up. I really did. I kind of messed up a little bit, and that's okay. It's okay. I messed up. I kind of beat myself up over it, and then I kind of move on. But then what I do is, as soon as I mess up, you know, I sit down immediately. And here's what I do. I write down on a piece of paper all the different mistakes that I made, right? Immediately, as soon as I finish, right? I get done, I start talking to the people in the audience, and I do all the things that I want to do. But then I go back and I sit down and I get by myself immediately as quick as I can. And I write down all the different mistakes that I made, because while it's fresh in my head, and then I fix it right there on the spot. And then what this does is this allows me to improve myself the next time. Now, this could be on a webinar. This could be me speaking from the stage. This could be doing something like this. Again, it's very simple. We'll be in London, depending on scheduling. I'd love to be there. Tim, come on out. You need to be there. If you're getting married, cancel it. She'll understand. If it's your father's birthday, your kid's birthday, bring them with you. Just come to the event. It's going to be all day. You guys are absolutely going to love it. So if you guys are listening to this right now, the reason why we're talking to you guys right now is I'm going to be in London on October 6th, literally next week. And I'm flying over there. I'm going to spend a whole day with Lily and Harry's crowd. And you guys are invited. If you're watching this right now, just come on out to the event. Go to internetmarketingintensive.com. Again, internetmarketingintensive.com. You'll see some of the things I'm going to be talking about, but we're going to be talking about the latest things, and we're going to probably jump around to a lot of different subjects. Like, for example, like I said, we mentioned webinars. We talked about Facebook. Maybe we'll talk about Google. We'll definitely talk about YouTube, because it's like a big subject for me right now. So I'm still using my tickets for the original YYC event. Well, there you go. See? That's right. See that the event, you know, had to be moved. And so this way you can actually come to this one. So we know you're free now. So now here's the thing, though, is that we're going to be jumping around on all the different subjects that we need to talk about at that day. And there'll be some subjects that I absolutely love to talk about that I don't get a chance to. And let me give you an example. Some of you watching this right now might be network marketers, as an example. There's a lot of people in London that are network marketers, and I'm a firm believer in network marketing. I literally grew up in a network marketing family. I don't talk about that very much. My mom and dad did Amway for years and years and years. I understood compensation plans before I even understood internet marketing. And so my whole thing was numbers. Even back then, when I was very, very young, under 18, I actually still understood the compensation plans of network marketing companies. So when I turned 21 was the first time I joined a network marketing organization. At the age of 21, I actually built an organization of over 30,000 people, and the internet wasn't even around. Now, how did I do it? Well, that's why you need to be there. That's why you need to be at this event, because I'm going to show you exactly and detail exactly what I did. It's actually very simple. It's actually very easy once you actually know how to do this. If you understand the concept, and here's the great part about this, those of you that are watching this, and if you live in London, I'm going to tell you right now, if you follow this one strategy and you're involved in a network marketing company, guess what? Inside, in London, London's a very special place. And I'm just going to tell you guys right now. I know some of you may not believe this because you live there and you might not think of how special it actually is. I've been all around the world. I have been every place that you could possibly imagine, some places longer than others, but I've seen the cities and I can understand the dynamics of a city. And London's a very special place, and here's why. Because number one, the diversity of all the different people that are there. That's the first thing. Second thing is the frame and the mindset of the people that actually live in London. Number three, and here's the reason why I say that, is because you can actually have 3, 4, 5, 6 different seminars going on, big seminars, at the same time in London, and they'll all be full. It won't happen any other place in the world, guaranteed. Now, that means that's important for us. And the reason is because with this particular strategy, London is the perfect place to implement this strategy. London is the actually perfect place. And I'm doing some big things in London over the course of the next 12 months. I am doing some major things in London in the next 12 months. And I'm going to be implementing this strategy that I'm telling you guys in order to actually do it. And once you see the whole thing, you'll understand completely how it works and how simple it actually is. But we're not only going to talk about network marketing, of course. We're going to talk about internet marketing. We're going to talk about the idea of creating your own products. We might even talk about Amazon as well, too, how to rank your products and services on Amazon and what that actually means. There's a lot of different strategies you can do with that. But also, we're going to talk about one thing, and that is creating what can you do to actually start making money? Meaning, when you're making money, before you can actually make money, you have to have something that you want to market. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the easiest and fastest ways in order to make a product or service, and it's not as difficult as you actually think right now. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I wanted to create a product, and let's say I was an expert at something, whatever it may be. Let's say I want to create a product on network marketing. Well, what I could do is I could come onto Facebook right now, and that would be simple enough. And I could come onto Facebook. Now, here's the coolest part about this. Think about this for a moment. I come onto Facebook. I spend, let's say, an hour on this, and I tell everyone what I'm going to talk about, and I teach people what I know about network marketing. Fair enough? Yeah, okay. So now I record this, and now it's recorded to Facebook, right? So this is pretty good quality that you guys are seeing right now. I mean, we don't have any lag time or anything. But also up on Facebook, guess what? After I record this, there's a little link that I can actually download this video. So now I just used Facebook to make my product. Now I can actually take that product, and let's say I don't even have a website. Let's say I am technically handicapped, okay? Which means I can't make a website. I can, but Lily can't. But so now what we're gonna do is we take this video, right? And then what we could do is we can actually just bring it up to Amazon, and we could sell it up there. That'd be one place that we could do it. We could, again, there's different ways that we can do this. We could burn it to a CD, sell it on Amazon. We could sell it as a digital product. We could do that. And there's several different places. We could take this video and we could break it up into multiple pieces. We could go to Udemy, and I could create a course on Udemy right now, break it up into 2, 3, 4-minute chunks, and actually start selling the product up on Udemy immediately. I have a student right now that Lily's met, that Lily knows. And she has, at the last event that we were at, she has over 70,000 students on Udemy. 70,000 students on Udemy. Now, again, Udemy, you sell your products a little less, but again, at $10 a pop, 70,000 students, that's a lot of money, no matter how you look at that. So that's a simple way that anyone can get going without having a lot of time, a lot of energy, or a lot of know-how, or even any money. You see, the mistake that people make is that they think that they have to have a lot of money in order to get started. With me, I started my very first company. I'm telling you, this is the God's honest truth. I started my very first company with $1.87 in my pocket. $1.87. That was it. I was flat, dead, busted, broke. And I started the company on this Sunday. It was actually an Easter Sunday. Under the worst circumstances that you could possibly imagine. Let me tell you guys, I don't really talk about this that much, but on this Sunday, I was working on building this company for months and months and months, and there was no money. And on that Sunday, Easter Sunday, there was a knock on my door, right? And on this knock at my door, this guy was at the front door. And he came to pick up my son's mother and my son, and they left me on that day, Easter Sunday. Great Easter, happy Easter, right? And when she left, she basically said these words to me. She said, "You're just playing at this business thing. You'll never amount to anything, and you're going to basically be a loser the rest of your life." Okay? So those are the words. And that's almost word for word exactly what she said as she walked out the door. Now, that same Sunday, I launched this company. That same Sunday, I launched this company. $1.87 in my pocket, not a stitch of food in the cupboards, in the fridge, anything like that. Now, just to be fair, just so you know the whole story, I had an apartment. It happened to be next door to my parents' house. But again, I didn't want them to know too much about what was going on. So, but I did launch that company that day, and I had 2 partners that I never met. So I launched a new company with 2 people I never met in the world. One was in North Carolina and one was in Biloxi, Mississippi. Very far apart. We've only ever talked on the phone. We launched this company. To make a long story short, that first 7 days, we generated $100,000. The second week, we generated $200,000. The first week I moved down to Biloxi, Mississippi. I was then the youngest CEO in the telecom industry, and we grew that company to $1.8 million over the course of the next 7 months. So does it take money to make money? No, it doesn't. But it does take to believing that you can do this. See, no one told me I couldn't do this, and I believed that I could. In fact, I believed so much that I would actually have dreams of what this would look like in the end. I could sit down, and you talk about visualizing. I would visualize it so much until I could actually smell the paper that my billing would be printed on. And I did all of the things that you may have heard other people talk about in the past. I actually did those things, and it does work. It kept me sane during this time frame, which was very, wasn't very happy period of my life. Let's put it that way. But it worked. It worked, and I was able to start that first company. I was able to go through and do the things I needed. But at the same time, don't let the idea of not having money be an excuse for you. It doesn't take money to make money. That's total bullshit. That's just the truth. You have to have some know-how, sure, but that's where you can take little bits of information that you learn. Some of the things I've said even on this call will allow some of you to actually start making money immediately today if you simply apply it. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes? So again, October 6th is the day. I want you to take a pen, take a piece of paper. I want you to write down October 6th. That is a little over a week away. That's, let's see, how many days is that? It's like 10 days, yes? So 10 days. In 10 days, I'm going to be coming over to London. We're going to be spending a whole day. I'm going to be teaching you guys the strategies. Now, the thing is, when I teach, I don't hold anything back, which means that I'm not going to say, oh, well, I'm just only going to show you so much. No. What we're going to do is we're actually going to go through it. So which means we're going to log into my accounts. You're going to actually see the money that I'm spending. We'll probably spend money that day, actually. We'll actually make some web pages. We'll put them up online. We'll even generate some leads online. You'll probably see me generate 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 Facebook followers over the course of the time that we're there, because it's a really cool strategy that I have in order to build your Facebook following anywhere in the world. Doesn't really matter where you are. And we'll do it live right in front of you. So the difference is that there's a lot of people that say you should be doing this. And the difference is that when I'm there, what we're going to do is we're actually going to do it. We're going to do it. You're going to see me do it, and it's not complicated. And I promise you one thing. I'm going to keep it as simple no matter what your level of expertise is. I'm going to keep it so simple for you guys that you'll be able to follow along with me. You'll be able to understand completely. It's not technical. It's not that in any way, shape, or form. Frank is watching. Frank needs to come to London. He needs to come to London next week to watch this event. And for those of you that don't know, Frank works with me here in the U.S. But again, Frank is watching right now. So what do I know about Frank right now? It means he's not working. That's what he's doing. He's watching on Facebook. He's supposed to be texting. Go ahead.
And can I ask you, what do you think makes this event different? Because, I mean, there are so many different events in London. What makes this one different? I mean, for me, what makes it different is that we'll be very close and personal with you. So it's not going to be a huge crowd. So, like at some events where you have 1,000 people in the room, you're just a bullet, you're just like a nut. Sure. Kind of like far away, people can't even see you. Whereas here, you'll be close and personal, so you can answer their personal questions, right, regarding their business. What would you say is different for this event?
Yeah, this is, it's kind of almost like more like a workshop in many ways, because it's not just where I'm standing up on stage and I'm 200 feet away from you or something. I'm literally be standing right next to you. I've been to the room where we're holding the event. We were just there last week. And so it's going to be very close. So again, it's going to be an intimate event. So, but again, there is limited seating. I'm just going to tell you guys that. We can't have, hundreds upon hundreds of people there. It's an intimate event. And what you need to do is you need to go to internetmarketingintensive.com. And by going to internetmarketingintensive.com, you can register your seat right there to come to this event. It's going to be October 6th. I'm going to be in London. So again, what you need to do is register your seat now. Go to that website. And then get ready for the next 10 days, because in 10 days, I'm going to be showing up. We're going to start in the morning. We're going to have a lot of fun more than anything. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what we're doing. And we're even going to have a time where I'll be able to answer your questions about anything that you want to know about. Maybe it's something particular about your business. We'll have probably a session where we can actually go over details like that, because what I like to do is I like to make sure that everyone, before they actually go home, has the answers to their particular questions So we're going to actually be doing that. So you don't want to miss it. You definitely want to come on out. Again, it's internetmarketingintensive.com. Go ahead, go there, register your seat, come on out to the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, what makes this event different, as Lily just said, is that unlike where there's going to be a boatload of other people there, it's going to be me speaking throughout the whole day. There's a few people speaking after I finish in the evening that are going to be talking about some other subjects. But the fact is that we're going to have a lot of time together where we're going to be teaching throughout this whole thing. So whether whatever it is you do, whatever kind of business that you have, I don't know a single business that exists out there. Whether your business is online or offline, I guarantee that we're going to cover something that's going to allow you to build your current business the way it is. And in fact, for some of you, maybe it's the idea of wanting to start a business. Maybe you don't have an idea currently right now. So what we can do is we can actually help you and give you ideas to actually start something on the internet. It's not as difficult as you think. It's actually much easier today. It's actually easier today than ever has been in history. But what we can do is we can actually walk you through this process, show you a lot of different ways in order to make this happen, but show you how to drive traffic to websites. First of all, we'll show you how to build a website. You'll actually see me build a website in less than 2 minutes. So it's actually really, really quick if you understand the principles. But sounds impossible. I know what some of you are thinking. Sounds impossible, but it's not. I've done it many, many times, and we'll show you exactly how to do that. So we'll build you the number of different pages that we need. We're going to show you exactly how to do that. Then what we're going to do is we'll actually drive traffic to those pages utilizing Google, maybe Bing, maybe Yahoo, maybe a few other places, Facebook as well too. Then we'll talk about social media. We'll talk a little bit about social media strategy and things of that nature. Then we'll talk about what else needs to be done to build your business, how to make the most amount of money in the shortest period of time, utilizing things like webinars and things of that nature. I do things a little bit different than everyone else does. If you think you've seen or know how to do these things, I guarantee you that the way I do it is entirely different. We're going to show you the shortest and the fastest way to actually get the results that you actually are looking for. And it's all going to happen on that day. What you need to do is you need to register your seat. Again, go to internetmarketingintensive.com. Register your seat. Come on out to the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. And I'm going to be spending the whole day right there. So again, it says, what platform are you using for this Facebook Live webinar? Darren, that's a great question. And the answer is we're just using Facebook. In other words, we're just using Facebook. There's no special platform that we're using. See, one of the things, so we'll actually show you guys actually how to do this when we actually go to the event. But one of the things that you can do is you can actually do interviews just like this on Facebook, but you can only do it from a mobile device. That's the key on this. But again, we're just utilizing the Facebook platform to actually do the streaming right now. It's coming through. I think it's coming through pretty clear. I don't think there's any stopping or stuttering on my end. On your end, Lily, any problems? No, everything's good.
Everything is cool. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yes.
I see you perfectly. I can see, I don't have any like lines or anything like that, or drop in audio or anything like that. So that works out pretty good. And again, for everyone listening, I mean, this is just using our phones. We're just using our phones. We're on Wi-Fi and that's it. So it works out great. So again, we got a chance to talk all about this. Where? In London. And what you need to do is you just need to register your seat. Let us know that you're coming. If you go to internetmarketingintensive.com, register your seat there. I'm going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you need to register your seat now. Lily, any other things that we got to talk to them about?
Yes, I wanted to ask you, how can someone automate their business in the same way that you can, make so much money and only have 5 employees? How do you do that?
Yeah, automation is kind of the key. So there's some things that you need to have happen. Number one, things like autoresponders, right? And autoresponders where you can start sending messages to people automatically once they subscribe to your list. That's going to be the first thing. So that sends let's put your marketing basically on steroids as long as you can drive traffic to get people to subscribe to your list. That's going to be the first piece. The second piece is you need a shopping cart of some sort, meaning that what you can do is you can actually you need a shopping cart where you can take orders where it will automatically integrate with your autoresponder. So therefore, what happens, for example, right now, I could have someone purchasing a product or a service from us. I wouldn't even know it because we don't have to be involved. As soon as a person buys, they automatically go to an order form. They put in their details. Then what happens is they push a button that processes their credit card. The bank automatically, within 24 hours, they put the money in my bank account. That person immediately is added to an autoresponder. And that autoresponder gives them the details as far as what they just purchased. They get added automatically to a membership site that we just had. And I didn't even know anything about it till maybe hours upon hours later. So that person's extremely happy. But that's how we automate. It's all automation. Automation is kind of the key to, again, making your business run smooth. But the cool part about automation is that you only set it up one time and you never have to set it up again. So for everything that you do, whether it be selling a product or a service or even a ticket to come to a seminar, it's actually that simple. So does that make sense?
Yes, and the other thing is, I was yesterday at a conference with Gary Vee, and he said you have to do Facebook ads. You must be crazy not to do Facebook ads. But the question is how?
Yeah. Facebook ads are great, except most people do them the wrong way. There's a lot of different strategies. In fact, if I remember correctly, in total, I haven't counted them all up in a while, but I believe there's about 9 different ways that we can actually advertise on Facebook. And what most people do is the worst one. What they do is they post something to their Facebook page and they push the button and they boost the post. It's like, oh, that's the worst thing you can do. And that's the worst kind of ad that you can run on Facebook, is a boosted post. So you don't actually want to do that because that's the worst bang for your buck. So in backend in Facebook, there's a place where you can run ads. If you go to facebook.com/ads, there's where you start the ad. And there's the 2 primary ads that you can run, which are the easiest. One's a traffic ad. So in other words, you click the button to create this ad, and it sends traffic to your website. You target a select group of people that you want to focus on Facebook. So let's say that I want to target, well, let's say Gary Vaynerchuk's audience. I can focus and I can say, I only want to target people that follow Gary Vaynerchuk, right? So then at that particular point, my ads are running specifically to his people if they match up with what I'm trying to advertise or what I'm trying to sell. So that's one type of ad, just traffic ad. Or the second type of ad is what's called conversion ads. Now, a conversion ad simply means that I'm basically going to pay Facebook each time I get a conversion, which means a person does something that I want, maybe buy a product, opt into a page, sign up for my webinar, and that's what's called a conversion ad. So Facebook kind of automatically goes out and looks for people that will actually complete that conversion. So in other words, Facebook does the work for you, so you don't have to. So that's kind of a cool aspect about that. And then there's several others that are a little bit more complicated, that are not a little bit, a lot more complicated, that you can actually utilize as well too. But those are the 2 primary ones where you basically run an ad. Make sense?
Yes. What about people that have no credibility, no product, no business, and they're in a corporate job, for example?
Yeah, so a lot of times people think they have to have credibility in order to sell something. And that's where I think people make a big mistake, is that they don't need as much credibility as they think. So I'm going to tell you right now, there's no doubt in my mind, I can put up a web page, not even have a name on it, but as long as I have an offer that people are looking for, then someone's going to buy that. As long as I present the offer in the correct way. So I don't need any credibility. And that's the biggest mistake that people fall for, is that I have to have credibility before I can actually make money on the internet. And that's actually not true. What we need to focus in on is the product first. So if you have a job that you're doing already, now the worst thing I would ever tell you to do would be to quit your job. That's not a good thing. You don't want to do that. No matter what you're doing, you need to make money. The question comes to, when do you quit your job? When your job becomes a liability, that's when that happens. And typically, when you're making twice as much money in your part-time business as you are making at your full-time job. So if you have a job right now and you're at a corporate place, whatever it may be, once you're making twice the amount of money that you're making at that job, now it's time to quit. And the reason why is because your job is now a liability, which means that it's getting in the way for you making a lot more money over here. You see what I mean? So if you're in a job right now, what you do is you start part-time, meaning that you start doing something on the side, a side job, a lot of people call it a side hustle. And what it is a way for you to make extra money. And at first, maybe what you're trying to do is pay some extra bills. You want something that will maybe make your car payment. So for example, if your car payment, if you live in the UK, maybe your car payment's £300 a month. Okay. So if it's £300 a month, then we need to figure out how to make £300 a month. And that technically means at that point, you're driving a free car. See what I mean? Not that difficult. Second of all, the next thing you might want to do is, okay, well, how do I become debt free? So what you want to do is you want to make a list of all your bills that you have. Then what you do is you go ahead and you figure out what that total is. So, and you start making a list one by one. So maybe it's the car first, and then maybe it's your house, right? How much is your mortgage, or how much is your apartment, or how much is your rent? That might be the second piece for that, okay? And then it might be some of your other bills, some of your other major bills. Maybe it's your insurance and things of that nature. But what are your total expenses? And then our first job is to kind of become debt free. Imagine if you didn't have to worry. I just want everyone to think about this for a second. Let's not talk about making millions of dollars and things of that nature. And honestly, you know, I have made millions of dollars. I continue to make millions of dollars, except I don't think about it as money anymore. The money itself is just a tally score for me to figure out how well I'm doing. The more money that I make, well, then I know that I'm doing well. Does that make sense? What we're really doing here is we're trying to remove stress. So the first way that you can succeed is just by removing the stress out of your life. And the vast majority of people out there today are stressing about money. Everyone does. I don't care how much money you make, you still stress about money. I still stress about money no matter how much money I've made. Doesn't make sense? But now here's the thing is that imagine living just for a moment. I want you guys to think just one thing. Forget millions. Don't even think about that. But think about if your bills were just paid for. If you woke up in the beginning of the month knowing that all your bills were automatically going to be paid for, and you knew that. I mean, that little bit of stress reliever would change your life, probably change your health quite dramatically. But that's the first step in becoming financially free, having a business worth having is to get to that first step. And once you're there, then you can see the bigger picture. And again, you know, the person Zoe says stressed out to the point of having vertigo at the ATM. Exactly. So the same thing is that, you know, when you're going through this process, when you're going through this process of just getting by, it's not, you see, I don't think it's a matter I don't think it's a matter that we should be living on this earth to just be worried about bills. I get stressed out just like everyone else does. I mean, I do. I get that anxiety and everything else about things, except my bills, a lot of times I have to come up with $100 grand by tomorrow, right? I mean, you think about having like $500 next week to pay the car payment is bad. Think about my position. Sometimes I have to come up with $100,000 by like Friday, right? And it's like, that's stress. But now, but you know, sometimes you put yourself in those particular situations. And so what you have to do is you have to get over it. But think about this. Again, everyone watching this right now, think about just removing that one piece out of your life. Having no stress, having your bills paid for, having a business, a side business in many cases, if you're just getting started, that allows you to progress forward. And that's where your starting point is. And if you start from there, you're going to have a great business. And the reason is because you're going at it in succession. Now, if you went the other way, which I've seen people do, and it's the biggest mistake, is that like, oh, I want to become successful on the internet. I want to do all these different things on the internet. And then what do? They get crazy and they quit their job. It's like, why are you nuts? Are you crazy? You just lost your income, right? And you don't know what to do next. Don't do that. Don't do that. What you do is you kind of ease your way into it. Now, I was in a position when I first started on the internet where I had to figure it out. I had no job. I just sold my company, right? So I had to figure out how to make money or else I wasn't going to eat. That's some motivation. But at the same time, I was willing to put forth the effort in order to make that happen. You see, my mom used to always tell me the same thing again and again and again. My mom used to tell me that you can do anything you want in life as long as you put forth the work and the effort in order to make that happen. Okay? But again, the key part is the work and the effort in order to make that happen. You know, the biggest mistake that people actually, the biggest problem I think I've seen in the last 20 years is the movie The Secret. Because people believe that just as, if you can just believe it to be true, that it's going to automatically happen for you. The part that The Secret actually missed or didn't stress enough was the fact that you actually have to go out there and actually work for whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Does that make sense?
Yes. As you know, I always have...
I set off alarms on the other side of the world. That's how much sense that made.
So I have many more questions, as you can imagine. I always have a lot of questions, but we've already taken a lot of time. I just have one more question. What about for people that are authors or speakers and they're not making any money? what advice could you give them?
Yeah, I mean, think about why. Okay, if you're an author, if you're a speaker, the question is why. What is your goal? What is your end goal? It isn't to be an author typically. It isn't to be a speaker. We have to think about what is the actual end goal to it all. I mean, why did we write this book? Why did we want to become a speaker? What do we want to get from it? And the reason why I say that is because you have to understand what your purpose and what your idea is for your book. If you have a book out there that you created, you know, here's a book, right? So I have my book. It just happened to be on the desk, right? So this is a book I wrote, right? Am I going to get rich from this book? No, I'm not. No matter how great this book is, and it's awesome, but I'm not going to get rich from that book. I have to have a strategy for that book. What is the goal and the purpose? Is it to generate me leads? Sure. Is it to give me some credibility? Maybe. I can go with that a little bit. Is it to make yourself feel good? Being able to tell people that you're a published author? Maybe. That could be, I'll accept that as a very valid answer. But also don't think that this book, that you're going to sell 1 million copies of this book and then, you know, retire for the rest of your life. It's not going to happen. The odds, it can happen, but the odds are greatly against you. So what is the purpose of the book? Is it to generate leads? If it's to generate leads, then we need to figure out how to get this book into the hands of most people, the most number of people as possible. If it's to generate income, then we need to have a back end to this book. If a person purchases this book, what's the back end? Meaning where are we going to take them to? So again, if this book costs us, let's say $10, then we need to upsell them in somewhere else into a course, a product, a seminar, something like that. So that's going to be one of the things that you need to have, is this process as an author of where do you go from here to get all the way to the end. Does that make sense? So what you do is you have to figure out what the next step is in order to get them. And ultimately, for most authors, and again, everyone's a little bit different, but I would say the vast majority of authors, their intent or their idea is to really get these people as coaching clients in some way, shape, or form. That would be the aspect of it. The other side is, if you're a speaker, then what you want to do is you want to speak, right? In other words, if I'm an up and coming speaker, and I would speak anywhere and everywhere I possibly can. Meaning, I don't care how big or how small the event is, you're going to speak as much as you can, because the more you speak, the better it is. You know, here's the classic example. You know, we've all heard about the 10,000 hour rule. Well, it's kind of like that, because with the Beatles, as an example, if we take the Beatles, right? Most famous groups in the world. But what most people don't understand is that the time in the Beatles' history that made it the most impact on them was when they went to Germany. In Germany is where the Beatles were actually made. Before the Beatles went to Germany, they were just another band. They were just nobody. They were just a band, period. But in Germany, they played 20 hours a day many times. 20 hours a day for multiple years, doing it like this. Now think about this. If you did anything for 10 hours, 12 hours, 20 hours a day, you're going to get good at it, but you're also going to learn something a little bit different. Let me give you an example. So some of you guys know that I take martial arts. I take Taekwondo, and one leg kicks better than the other leg. For whatever, I'm right-handed, but my left leg kicks a whole lot easier than my right leg. So what happened? When I was getting ready for a tournament not too long ago, my instructor had me only kick with my right leg. Not just once, but like 600, 700, 800 times a day with just that one leg, as hard as I could. No matter how ugly it looked, no matter how bad it was, I just kept kicking, boom, kicking the target as fast as I possibly could. And every single day I would kick with just my right leg. And you know what happened? Eventually, my right leg got as good as my left leg. That's what happens. It just happens with anything and everything that you do. You don't get good overnight. No one's born into this. I'm probably a great example of a person that just never, I'm not a natural speaker. I talk a lot. You guys see me talk a lot, but this is not natural for me. It didn't happen. Everything that you're seeing right now is all learned. I learned how to do this. I actually studied this. I watched the greatest speakers in the world. I understood what they were saying. I understood what they were doing. I watched their patterns of speech. I calculated down. I actually, here's something for you. I actually used to time exactly how often they would speak and time them to when they actually took a breath. I actually got to that degree where I was watching these people because I wanted to be like one of those people. And I had to figure it out because that's what it is I had to learn it. But again, what I did was I spoke everywhere I possibly could. So if you're a speaker, never say no. Speak anywhere you can. Just do whatever you need to do in order to make it done. Chris says the book will open doors to the business behind the book is so true. So he says, for sure, I now can't DJ with just one hand. I got to use both. Wasn't always that way. Again, you know, the more you practice, the better you get. It's just the reality of it. The people that practice the most become the best at it. That's just the reality. So what we need to do is we need to practice what we do. We need to be a student of what we do. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes? So
Yes.
Being a student, what you need to do is you need to come to class. And the class is being held in London on October 6th. If you go to internetmarketingintensive.com, register your seat, come on out. We're going to have a lot of fun at this event. It's going to be me all day speaking, teaching you guys the latest strategies, the latest things that I'm doing. It's going to be amazing. You don't want to miss this. It doesn't happen that often where I get a chance to just kind of just dump everything that I know and everything that I'm doing on one day. And I'm telling you, when I say we're going to talk about everything, we're going to talk about everything that you could possibly imagine. Just get there. All you have to do is actually get there. And again, just come on out. We're going to have a lot of fun. And again, here's the difference is that it's nothing that I teach and nothing that I show you is theory. You're going to see examples of me actually doing it. You're going to actually see me doing it live right in front of you. There's no tricks. There's nothing pre-planned. In fact, I don't even have an agenda when we're going there. It's that much on the fly because I want to tailor this specifically to all of you in the audience. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing this. I've done this again and again for many people all over the world, hundreds of thousands of people. And now I'm doing it here in London and you guys get a chance to be part of it. But there's limited seating for this event. So what you need to do is you need to register your seat. That's the key. So again, if you're watching live right now, you have a huge advantage, which means that you're watching this live and you have a head start against all the people that are actually watching this recording. So if you're watching this live, go to internetmarketingintensive.com, register your seat. Actually get out there. Come see us. It's in London. It's right smack dab in the middle of Kensington. So go right there. It's going to be amazing. But here's the other part to this is that if you're watching the recording of this, you need to go faster because the people that watched it live, they have a huge advantage. They're registering your seat now. But again, if you're watching the recording of this, then you need to go even faster to make sure that there's still seats available because this room, even though it's a good size room, it's not huge. It's not massive. So what you need to do is if we fill out before you get there, then that's it. There's nothing I can do about that. Room size is room size. That's all we can do. So again, you need to register your seat right now. But again, Harry and Lily's putting on this event. They're going to be there. I'm going to be there. You need to be there. Many people watching this is going to be there. So again, go ahead, register your seat right now. Again, my name is Armand Morin. Lily, I'm going to turn it back over to you. And any last words?
Yes, I just want to say thank you so much for being on Lily TV, the amazing place where you too can find the tools to build a great business. And I want to say thank you for staying so late. We overran by 1 hour, and I'm so sorry about that.
Okay.
I hope I can make it up to you in some way. And I just want to say I am a huge, huge fan, maybe the most enthusiastic, member of your coaching program. I'm not sure, but I'll compete with anyone who says otherwise. And I've learned so much from you, about learning how to close from the stage and selling high ticket items. And, we went on this amazing marketing cruise, which I absolutely loved. And you also have an amazing multi-millionaire network that you don't really advertise, but it's really, really incredible. It's really an amazing thing to be part of it. And you never know who you'll meet at one of Armand's events. Really, it's the quality of the people in the room is just incredible. So I don't care if you're flying from Tanzania or from France or from New New York, you just have to be there, and you would be crazy not to be there. I just tell you this because Armand is absolutely amazing, and you know, speakers ideas would be nowhere without him, because you know, last year when I did my first event, we only had 3 people in the room, and now I can tell you that we're speaking around the world, in Peru and Singapore and London. We're running the events pretty much every 2 weeks, and we managed to, you know, have up to 100 people at the moment in the room. And we're also going to speak in Singapore in April as well with Armand, which I think is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your time, Armand. You are absolutely brilliant. And I can urge you, all of you, to go to internetmarketingintensive.com to book your ticket. Thank you so much for your time. And my name is Lily.
Sounds great. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.